You're watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television with me, Waris Mohammed. Here are the stories making local headlines. President of Somaliland issues condolence statement. President of Somaliland welcomes French delegation at Presidential Palace. Egyptian soldiers released from captors. The President's press office issued the following press release. The President of Somaliland, Ahmed Seelanio, conveys condolences to the family, relatives, loved ones, and all others impacted by the death of Abdullahi Sufi Abakar. The late national figure played an instrumental role in a nationwide disarmament campaign. Abdullahi Sufi Abakar was ill and was seeking medical treatment in capital city Hargeisa. The President prays that Allah provides the late national figure with ample sustenance in heaven and patience to all those impacted by his death. President of Somaliland, Ahmed Seelanio, welcomed a senior delegation of French officials headed by France's ambassador to Kenya. Somaliland has transpired as a beacon of peace in the Horn of Africa and is increasingly emerging as a regional partner for the international community. The French delegation met with the President, and diplomatic discussions focused on strengthening the cooperative relationship between both nations. At the end of the high-profile meeting, Somaliland's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohamed Abdullahi Umar, standing alongside the French ambassador, stated that both nations have in the past and will continue to cooperate on several core places of mutual interest. The French ambassador also addressed the press and commended the great length Somaliland has reached in national progress and development. Minister of Presidency Hirsi Haji Ali Hassan granted an exclusive interview to SLN TV on a number of issues. The minister commended the efforts of all the Independence Day regional committees for their successful implementation of nationwide public celebrations.
Minister Hirsi Haji Ali Hassan stated that Somaliland's independence is not a matter of discussion, but a concrete reality for citizens residing within the nation and abroad. He continued to add that since this administration took office, it has been a major objective to work harder at building relations with the international community, while still pointing out Somaliland's sovereignty as irreversible and non-negotiable. There have been growing cases of the few Somaliland citizens involved in neighboring nation Somalia's political scene, retracting from such activities and wholeheartedly attempting to regain their place in their country of origin. On that issue, the Minister of Presidency stated that although the final decision belongs to the President, Somaliland welcomes the political figures of Somaliland descent who rightfully choose to return to their nation.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Tourism Ali Saeed Raigal held a press conference on preparations made for the upcoming national soccer tournament. The minister stated that the soccer tournament will commence as scheduled and will take place in capital city Hargeisa.
The minister stated that residents of the capital city should play their part in welcoming players from the various regions of Somaliland, and that all regions will be taking part in the upcoming national soccer tournament. Minister Ali Saeed Raigal also commended the hard work and collaborative efforts of all those involved in ensuring that preparations for upcoming tournaments were completed in the most effective manner. The national soccer tournament takes place every year.
You're still tuned into the English news program on Somaliland National Television. Let's take a look at the main stories making international headlines. 7 Egyptian security officers kidnapped in Sinai last week have been released, according to an army spokesman. Ahmed Ali made the statement on his Facebook page. It said, "The 7 kidnapped Egyptian soldiers are on their way to Cairo after the release, thanks to efforts of Egyptian military intelligence in coordination with the elders of the tribes and families of Sinai. The men were seized by militants on the road between Al-Arish and Rafah near the border with Israel on May 14. Egypt stepped up its military presence in Sinai in response. The peninsula has become increasingly unstable since the overthrow of former President Hosni Mubarak in 2011. Search and rescue teams are continuing to scour rubble for survivors in tornado-ravaged Oklahoma, but with officials increasingly confident that everybody has been accounted for, efforts are also turning towards recovery in the suburb of Moore.
At least 24 people were killed when the powerful twister struck. David Wheeler, whose son Gabriel was at Briarwood Elementary School, said knowing that his son was a student of a school that got hit was simply terrifying. Another school, Plaza Towers Elementary, was flattened. At least 7 children were killed at the site. Nature left more unrecognizable. It will take years for the shattered community to repair and rebuild.
And now for our sports segment with Mohammed Jibril.
Thanks, Wesley. Let's start with some of the international soccer. Real Madrid announced on Monday that coach Jose Mourinho will leave the European 9-time champions at the end of this season. The managerial musical chair continued in the world of football as Real Madrid announced on Monday that coach Jose Mourinho will leave the European 9-time champions at the end of this season. 50-year-old Mourinho arrived at Real Madrid in 2010, and his time there guided them to one league title, King's Cup crown, and the Super Cup of Spain. But the special one will leave the club having failed to win any major silverware in his final campaign. Mourinho is now likely to return for a second stint at Chelsea, while Paris Saint-Germain's Italian boss Carlo Ancelotti has been widely tipped as Mourinho's successor at Bernabeu. Sweden won their 9th world title on home ice Stockholm, courtesy of 5-1 demolition of surprise package Switzerland on Sunday. Switzerland fired out of the block and scored fast after just under 5 minutes thanks to Roman Josi. Sweden were on 11 times 3 minutes later when Erik Gustafsson latched on to a rebound and snagged a shot past Martin Gerber. The home crowd were on their feet against shortly afterwards when on form Henrik Sedin battled home the second in mid-air. The Swedes broke the game open in the third when the Simon Hjalmarsson made the most of a giveaway by Julian Vauclair. Lue Eriksson put the tie out of the reach of the Swedes when a point shot went off on his skate. After a goalless extra time, the two teams went to a shutout where Alex Galchenyuk scored a decisive goal for the USA, who won their first medal since another Frozen in 2004 edition. That was an update from my sports segment. You can catch a complete update from my sports segments with me, Mohammed Jibril, on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Back to you.
Thanks, Mohammed. Here's a recap for the main stories making headlines. President of Somaliland issues condolence statement. President of Somaliland welcomes French delegation at Presidential Palace. Egyptian soldiers released from captors. And that's the end of the news. Thank you for watching. Until next time.